Good morning. You're now listening to Kingston Community Radio, airing on FM 92.5 and AM 920 WGHQ in Kingston, New York. This programming is brought to you by our listeners and corporate underwriters who are interested in presenting local community radio. The opinions expressed on this program do not represent those of Pamel Broadcasting or Kingston Community Radio. Listeners are encouraged to send in $10 per month to help bring this program to you, and mail your contributions to Kingston Community Radio, Post Office Box 4364, Kingston, New York, 12402. For more information or to donate online, visit our website at mykcr.org. And good morning, this is Dan Gatis, and thank you for tuning in and sharing this terrific Tuesday with us. Today, July 27th. It's July 27th and 61 degrees here in uptown Kingston. Weather and forecast for Kingston and the surrounding areas. Sun and a few clouds today, a stray shower or thunderstorm possible, a high of 90. And tonight, 40% chance of thunderstorms possible this evening, followed by occasional showers overnight, a low of 63. Wednesday, a 30% chance of showers in the morning with a high of 77. And Wednesday night, partly to mostly cloudy with a low of 61. Thursday, a 40% chance of showers, then scattered thunderstorms developing later in the day, a high of 76. And Thursday night, variable clouds with a 40% chance of scattered thunderstorms also, a low of 63. We'll be right back.
Thanks for starting your day with Kingston Community Radio on 920 WGHQ AM Kingston and 92.5 W223CR FM Kingston, New York. Magic 92.5.
I didn't think it was possible for me to be an alcoholic. I was 24 with a good career. I thought I was too smart and that alcoholism only happened to middle-aged men and celebrities. I thought something else was making me sick, shaky, and afraid to face people. Then I found AA and discovered it wasn't something else, it was alcohol. AA helped me find a new life. Alcoholics Anonymous. It works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or AA.org.
Okay, forest animals. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Scott Harrington from Hurley, and I support Kingston Community Radio because the people need a place to have their voice heard, and it's lost in corporate radio, so please keep listening and supporting our station.
And we're back. You're listening to KCR, Kingston Community Radio, WGHQ 920 on your AM dial, 92.5 FM, and streaming online at mykcr.org. KCR is talk radio and a call-in show, and your number is 331-9255. And this is a terrific Tuesday for calling in. 331-9255 is your call-in number. And being that it's a terrific Tuesday, Cameron Rylance is in the on-air studio. Good morning, Cam. How are you?
Good morning. I am just dandy, hoping my cohort, Nina, has an equally spacey excuse for being late.
Okay.
I was halfway down.
We didn't even notice. You're on air, and I got my station break done, and there you are.
Here I am. But I'm driving down Chandler Drive. I'm like on my way to work after traversing the new Rotary.
On your way to work.
I'm like, oh, shoot. I got to go to the radio. So hit the second Rotary, came in on, I had to go down Washington Avenue here. So. And
that's not a terrible detour.
No, at least I didn't get out to 209. So yeah, right. I was like, oh my goodness, it's Tuesday. So nonetheless, it's beautiful. Oh, glorious morning out. Nice
glorious
and cool.
Morning, absolutely.
On its
it's
way
cool
to be.
Right now. It's about 61 degrees.
Yeah, it's nice.
I mean, it is on its way to 90.
Yes. Well,
today,
hey,
but,
it's July in the Hudson Valley, so it's supposed to be like that. Nice mornings, sunny. Probably
after the show, we're going to hit the hit Rondout Creek for a little bit of paddling.
Oh, there you go. Where do you put in?
It's between. It's up by the Last Marina.
Oh, okay.
But
Here, you're not going up.
past Roberti.
Okay.
No, it's it's below the dam.
In the tidal portion, our section of the river.
Yep.
Not like down in Walkill. Or
Right.
Okay,
No, it's just right here in.
Yeah, that's cool.
down the
Kayaks,
street from-
paddleboards.
Kayak.
Oh, that's
yeah.
cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that's the
so you
summer.
got
That's what the summer's for.
Yeah. The last marina, it used to be Goose Roost. I'm not sure what it's, Rondout Marina or something like that.
It's just
or-
past.
by the bridge.
They use a putting in area that is part of the last marina there. But,
That's cool.
But it's right after Roberti.
That's cool. Oh, okay, right there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Is it free?
The boards?
No,
Oh,
do you have to pay to launch or anything?
We're renting the kayaks
Oh,
from
okay.
a day away.
Oh, that's cool.
A wonderful organization there.
Awesome.
Very, very efficient, very, very cool.
Nice.
Lots of fabulous brand new kayaks,
Bring a water bottle. Got to stay hydrated.
Absolutely.
Even though
Probably
you're-
a hat too.
The other day, Saturday, I was driving down Wilbur Avenue. It was in the morning. It was about a little after 9 o'clock in the morning, heading out of Kingston. Just before that stretch, where that big, when the tide is low, you see all the sand on the other bank.
Yes.
And people frequently pull their boats up there and hang out there.
Maybe we're near where Feeney's is.
Just down, upriver a little bit of that.
Okay, upriver. Okay. Oh yeah, I know
It's
where
a
you
big
mean.
sandbank that's on the
Yep.
other shore. That, and driving along, I'm like, what the heck's that? Did a double, triple, quadruple take, and there was a deer standing out there, like basically up to its belly, just like standing around, walking, standing, looking around. And
Yeah.
so I slowed down a little bit, and it just, had nothing to do with me slowing down to look, but it just, turned its head a couple times, just turned around and walked out. I was like, I'd never seen, like,
A deer down by the water.
yeah, but just hanging out,
Yep.
catching a little bit of morning bath, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some families of deer. That's on the Connolly side of the
Correct,
river.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
More accessible. Our side, it's like pretty much a steep bank
Yes, it is.
down to the road. From,
Yeah. And the deer stay generally up in the woods up above the cliffs.
I believe so. Yeah, but good morning.
Good morning.
And enter Nina Postupack.
Yeah, on cue.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
thought I was running late today too. I was on Chandler Drive and realized, oh God, I got to go there. I thought I was going to work. So,
Oh gosh,
I am.
I don't know what I did, but of course I got behind a slow-moving truck. That's always, when you're in a rush.
Of course.
Yes, and it's a beautiful sunny morning, and I was up nice and early.
Lovely out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Really nice day. So, so you were going to work.
Yeah.
Well,
which
you're
I will
so
be after this,
dedicated.
but-
Should I call you in the morning on Tuesdays?
Yeah, no, it's usually pretty good. I was at home, knew I had the radio, but I got in the car and got in my zone and just, you get on autopilot to it.
How many times you do that, right? My car's in the garage being fixed, and I walk out of work last night, and I'm like, oh my God, I go right to walk to my parking spot. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have a car.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because you're
Shop.
such a creature of habit.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
We moved our clock in the kitchen from one side to a place where you can see it from the rest of the room a lot easier.
You keep looking
Always.
over.
Oh,
Always.
It's
I have a
terrible.
little sign that says the clock is above the sink.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's cute. That's so true. Oh my gosh. So, what's happening here in our community? I have something that's happening in the county clerk's office.
What's that?
So if you're going to travel, I hope you don't need a passport right now because passports are taking 18 weeks to get.
18 weeks. That's 6.
Almost 6 months, right?
Wow.
Yeah. And if you expedite it, 12 weeks. And I have had people actually miss their vacations
Yeah,
because
well.
of it. And unfortunately, the Department of State is really has a serious problem because they're understaffed. They were having all their agents accept passport applications throughout the pandemic, but they weren't working. And they have, I believe, a 2 million application backlog right now. So our Congressman, Antonio Delgado, his office has really been helpful and trying to help people.
Well, unless he sends people to the State Department to work, what the heck's going to happen?
Well, I have had some people able to get, through the help of the Congressman's office, of course, but get a passport appointment up in Buffalo, out in Boston. I mean, that's how...
Is that where they process them?
Well, usually we send people who need a passport. Say you wake up and you go to PAC today and you're going away on Thursday and you realize your passport's expired. Back before the pandemic, you could go to a passport agency if you have proof of departure within 72 hours, and they would issue your passport immediately. So for us, that would be the Connecticut Passport Agency or the New York City Passport Agency.
I'm sure they're equally clogged.
Oh, now you can't even get an appointment.
So all bets are off.
All bets are off. Life or death, even the phone number for life and death situations, it's very, very difficult to get through. So those of you that are listening, please let everybody know if you have any kind of travel plans or you want to renew your passport just because it's about to expire. Do it now, especially if something comes up and you'll need it, because again, expedite, which is an additional $60, it will take 12 weeks, and then for a regular routine passport, it's taking 18 weeks. And there's nothing we can do. I have people calling me all the time, what can we do to get it quicker? And there's just nothing.
Plan ahead better.
One of those things from the pandemic that...
Absolutely, it is from the pandemic, because now everyone just can't wait to see their family. Maybe their family's in England. Maybe their family's in Mexico. Maybe their family's in Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
You need your passports.
Yes,
and
yes.
you now, now the surge of trying to, there's a huge wave of people that are trying to travel now. Huge.
Interesting. My speaking of travel, my neighbor is a cinematographer, and he just got back from New Zealand.
Yes.
And they had some coronavirus, but they didn't have waves, and it's an island. It's easy to contain your stuff there. But pretty interesting perspective on his take. Yeah, and their seasons are opposite. They're in the winter, and New Zealand has mountains. It's skiing. You can go skiing in New Zealand. It's it's temperate. There's whatever. Yeah. But his take on how watching the globe and seeing the stuff in India. They're relatively unscathed down there. So is. Yeah, lucky for him. I mean, he's extremely happy to be home after 7 months or 8 months, whatever. But
absolutely.
And he had trouble. He was supposed to come home a week or two ago, but they couldn't. Temporary ban and travel from here or there, whatever it was. He couldn't. He was delayed. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Well, you look even in our own country, the difference between California, Texas, New York, Louisiana. Yeah. It's really amazing.
Oh, speaking of that, have you gotten any pushback about the announcement yesterday that government employees are going to be required to wear masks?
We have not. Yeah, I saw it. And they also, government employees in New York City and somewhere, federal government? California, yeah. New York City and California
I thought it was all New York State. I thought it said New York and California.
It was a de Blasio announcement.
Yeah.
Not yet the state. I was wondering if they were.
Yes, and they were going to have to be vaccinated. All government employees have to be vaccinated for New York City and California, as Dan said. Yes. So
that'll create some.
Well, what was the headline in the Freeman today? Active cases up
sharply. Yeah.
Yeah. So
from 66 on Friday to 97.
So those of you out there that are listening and aren't vaccinated, really consider getting vaccinated for yourself, for the people around you, for the world at large, because it really can turn on a dime. And, we're finally getting back to some kind of normal routine, and to go back to masks and social distancing and everything.
Well, yeah, the hospital's filling up, people on ventilators in the hallway.
In some states, yeah.
So, that's what we don't want to get back to.
Florida, California, yeah, no.
Yes. The nightmare scenes from, a year and a half ago, no one wants to even think about that, so.
No, that's for sure. I see the New York Times.
I'll go get another one if I need one.
I see the New York Times. Is that the New York Times?
Yes.
Yes, sitting there. What do we have?
The Sunday New York Times. It is from, I forget what section. Well, my parents dropped this off to me. Headline, what happens when your waiter can't afford rent? And the byline is, in Ulster County, steeper housing costs are pushing out crucial service workers. Kayla Latterman, I don't know. She's the reporter. I don't know if she has ties to
Ulster County or
County.
Kingston.
But it highlights LaToya Flood, who owns Ruby Mays downtown. Tim Smiley, Smiley Brothers, Smiley family, I should say, from Mohonk. And Stu Myers, who owns the software company uptown. Wow, what the heck's the name of it? Exago?
Exago, yeah.
Whatever.
You're right, Exago.
But it's about the rising housing costs.
It's definitely a good, very good barometer for the turning point between how much you're making and how much things cost.
Yeah.
Very good barometer.
It's and complicated by the lack of. There's no housing. There's nothing available, and so
no inventory.
Supply and demand. There's no supply, or when a big demand, it's low supply. The price goes up. But yeah, Stu Myers, founder of Exago, a software company in Kingston, wonders how his young workforce, average age of 29. Can't remember that long ago, will be able to keep living in and near Kingston if home prices and rents keep climbing. I've been focusing on hiring locally to grow a competitive business here, but if my employees say they can't afford to live here, then all of a sudden they ask me for an increase in salary, I would be stuck. Rashida Tyler, Ulster County Coalition for the Housing, and this has been flooded with calls and emails from people asking for help, which started before the pandemic began. And certainly involving poor communities of color. As a third-generation Kingstonian, Ms. Tyler said she's been unable to, whatever, it just goes on about when it's too high. It's crazy. And every time someone proposes to build something, apartments on Lucas Avenue or downtown, Andrew Wright want to do that, everyone said, not in my backyard, Golden Hill's going to be like 3 years from start of construction. Kingstonian, whatever you say about the Kingstonian, for or against, it's still
housing.
A year away from beginning construction.
Yes.
This housing crisis is nowhere near. There's no brightness on the horizon, unfortunately. We're talking years before the market can adjust. Is Paul Hakim our guest today? He might
yes,
be.
He is.
Hopefully he comes in. He might,
Yeah, he's at 8:30.
The timeline, the time frame. I mean, heck, if you just called an architect today and say, "Hey, I want to build a house," new house, whatever.
Well, even the ability to get supplies right now,
and workers. Ryan Bradley, you call Ryan Bradley, say, "Hey, Ryan, I got a construction job." Oh yeah, well, I'll put you on the list for 2022, 23, maybe.
Yes.
Everybody. Ian Horowitz, hey, I need a new roof. All right, buddy, good luck. We'll put you on the list.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
So it's interesting that that's a kind of sobering statistic. I've talked to people that restaurants have to cut back on their business because they don't have enough service. Like my niece just started up at the new place in Woodstock on the golf course.
Yes.
And there's like 3 waitresses. They need wait staff. They need 8. They're only using like half of their dining room because they can't see everybody. Imagine opening a business. You got loans to pay and bills and rent and overhead. You got to pay the cook. You got to pay the linen company. Man, it's brutal out there.
Yeah, and it's all, on the repercussions of the pandemic. And I think the other thing, too, is we have, like, New York City prices for housing right now. People came up from New York City. They're paying prices that they would pay down in the city to live, but we don't have New York City wages. Yeah. And that's where the problem is, too, on top of it. So there's a lot of issues facing us, some of them pandemic-generated, others just by virtue of our community and where we live and the proximity to New York City. But it's going to be years, as Cameron said, working out all these issues and really getting to a point of some kind of balance and equity in our community. And it's not going to be an easy struggle through it all. And I think personally, I think one of the things that's most important is that we all keep an open mind and try to work together for solutions instead of staying on one side of the spectrum or the other side of the spectrum and not being willing to meet in the middle. So we need low-income housing, we need housing for seniors, but we also need housing for working families and so forth. So there's a little bit for everyone, and we need to work together to get that.
Yeah.
And we can't continually fight against one another if we want a solution to the problem.
No, definitely. We have to move forward together. And definitely, one thing that I always felt about statistics is that gives you the opportunity to be creative. You've got to think outside of the box, think of another solution, as Nina said. Think of all the other possible solutions within the confines of what you see as statistics. I never felt like I should ever be a victim of the statistic I see in the news.
Change it, yeah.
Good point.
Use it as a
Very
spurring
good point, Dan. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then compounding the fact, about staffing and working, and seems to be a lack of work ethic. I don't know, across the board, adults, young people. And I was talking to the camp director, this woman, Erin Kokobun. Love that. It's a Japanese name.
Say that again?
Erin Kokobun.
Okay.
Wonderful woman. She's the camp director of the day camp that's at my facility.
Yes.
And talking to her and lamenting the fact that like two employees didn't show up today. Granted they're kids. A lot of them come from Kingston. There's a bus.
Oh, really?
There's a stop out by Mickey's Igloo and another stop, maybe by the post office or something.
These are counselors?
For this day camp. Most of them seem like high school graduates. I met several of them, nice kids, whatever. We have a caller. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Cam. Good morning, Nina.
Hey, George.
Good morning, George.
Hey, Nina, I got a question for you.
Okay.
It deals with your office up there. I've got 3 plaques. One is the original thing for the American Legion. Another one is a certificate for recognizing the American Legion at the post, and a small third one. Can they be stored in your area up there?
Well, George, that's a really good question. And unfortunately, right now, we're really struggling with taking outside entities' documents or artifacts, or whatever the case may be, because we are so full at the Record Center right now with county records. So we have prioritized right now, and we're not able to take outside organizations' records as we have done in the past. We're hoping through a project that we have now implemented, which will allow us to scan and digitize many of these records and allow us to destroy some of them. We'll be able to once again start taking things into the facility. But I do have a message that you call me, so I will reach out to you and we can discuss it a little further. But at this point, it's really difficult for us to take anything that's not a county document or county-owned record.
Oh, okay. Very good. No problem. Yeah, I know you guys are extremely busy up there. That's why when you guys couldn't get back to me right away, I figured, hey, I know you're on the air too.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you called and you asked. Yeah, absolutely.
Caught a captive audience.
Yeah, right.
You can peg her down easy. 2 hours a week, exactly where she's going to
Right.
We can get her.
No, I know people do a great job and stuff up there, and I fully understand. Yeah, because these 3 documents are in plaques and stuff, and there's something like 18 by 25, and one is 18 by 12. So
Well, keep them high and dry until you figure out where
What we
where
could
to
do
store
with
them.
them.
So keep them
yep.
nice.
Okay. Very good.
Cool.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much. Keep up the good job,
Yeah.
everybody. And part of the reason people need people to work and stuff is that they're still getting that extra $400 to $600 every week, and
That's one of them.
it's not worth for them to go back to
Yeah,
work.
I know a guy that told me the same thing over the weekend. He said, what the heck am I going to go back to work for, man? I'm making more than I would at work.
Right. That's
So-
why they should have cut it off sooner.
Yeah,
The
well-
states they have, the people are going back to work.
Yeah, well, that'll happen eventually, I hope, soon.
Right, and but keep up the good work, you guys, and stuff, and to let you guys know, you guys reach out to Loch Sheldrake and South Forsberg in the morning and stuff, because I went up to the 2 golf courses up there, and up on top of the mountain, I picked you guys up just fine.
Great.
For 3 days
That's
that I
good to
was
know.
up there.
That's pretty far. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you faded it out in a couple spots, but hey.
Yeah. Well,
you
switch
can
over to
still listen
AM.
to the show driving out, and I've done that the past 3 or 4 weeks going out to the golf course. So.
That's cool. Well, keep it up. The only way to
Keep
get
up
better
the
is
good work,
to...
everybody, and stay safe, stay healthy, and hopefully we don't have to go back to masks.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm with you, George.
Because, hey, they told us you get the shots, you don't have to wear the mask. Now they changed it.
Well, I'll go get another one if I have to.
Yeah, you can get a booster, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Cool. All right, George, thank you.
George, be well.
Okay,
Thanks for
yep.
calling.
Bye.
Yeah, I have to switch over to AM when I get
When
to
you
work.
go.
In the winter, when there's no leaves on the trees, I can
Then you're
FM
fine.
all the way to work. But
Yeah.
about half a mile beforehand, I gotta go to AM.
George brings up a really good point, and it's really something that the historical community, as well as myself and Jeff Miller, who's the county historian, has struggled with, and that's and Paul O'Neill. Paul O'Neill's a very big advocate in regard to this. A central depository for all of these historical documents. We're the county, and we have the ability to store ours in an archival vault under, excellent conditions and so forth. But there's so many historical documents out there in people's garages, attics, or people who want to preserve, like George, who reaches out to us. And I had to say, at least once a week, somebody reaches out to us in regard to documents, or the dilemma I told you about, the Daily Freeman with all those pictures and what we're going to do with those. And there's so much history, but we don't have a central place to store all of them. And
Is that because just space is limited, or money, budgets, or?
Well, who's going to pay for it? It's like the county pays for the county records. Do you develop a coalition of historical societies and so forth? Do you do it on a government level? Do you do it on a like City of Kingston does their own, like we do right now? County of Ulster does their own, etc. The Historical Society, Ulster County Historical Society has their own. Historic Huguenot has. It's a really difficult question, and something that we really have thought about and have not come up with any solutions, but hopefully in the future, because people like George and individuals who have so many historical documents, and you really want to preserve them, and there's nowhere to put them.
Yeah.
So
That
it's an
that
issue.
requires some pretty significant funding.
It does.
Yeah,
It does.
requires some significant funding. You have a new building opening up for records, don't you?
What's that?
You have a new building opened up for records for Ulster County, don't you?
Well, our building was open in 1997, so it's been around for a while. So we.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's not that new.
It's not that new, but it's new enough. But 1997 is when we opened it. But
Okay.
so
That's
a little
over,
over 22 years.
Over by
Foxwell Avenue.
yeah.
Oh, that's the one I was thinking
That
of. Okay.
stores 48,000 cubic feet of records, and we're like 92% full. So that gives you
48,000 cubic feet.
48,000 cubic feet.
Cubic feet of records. Okay, so
Cubic
that's
feet.
up
And
and
one-
down and sideways, yeah.
Yeah, and each box that we store the records in, because all the boxes are uniformed, is 1 cubic foot. So we have 48,000 boxes. So close to 40,000 boxes. So as you can see.
You need about that much for historic records.
Yes, absolutely. And when we opened that record center 22 years ago, we had a phenomenal amount of space. But over the years, the only thing I can say is that we're not generating paper the way we used to. Because so much is electronic now.
We've got it down
remember when
now.
you used to have to write a memo and send it to somebody, or now everything's email. You don't do many letters anymore. All our reporting is done electronically.
So good records can still be in the cloud, or you have
exactly.
secure cloud and stuff like that.
Yes. So in that sense, we're not generating the amount of paper that we have in the past.
Of course.
Which is a good thing. And then, of course, with new technology, we're able to scan a lot of those documents.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're meeting the New York State retention and disposition schedules, we can destroy those documents. And people like it. It's much more accessible. Isn't it easier to pull a document up on your computer and look at it
go to
than
filing
to
cabinet.
fill out a reference request or do an electronic reference request, and for us to pull the file, send it by courier over to you, and so forth? So,
certain things have to have hard copies, right? Like deeds and things like that.
So,
or-
certain things have permanent retention, and you're absolutely right. So, that you bring up deeds, and I know we're getting right to the bottom of the half hour, but just quickly. So, you bring up deeds. Deeds are recorded as opposed to being filed, and what it means when you record a document is that back before imaging, we used to microfilm the document and create a hard copy, but the original used to go back to the individual. The same thing is still true today. We never keep the original deed or mortgage or satisfaction. We scan and image it, but we write it to microfilm because it is a permanent retention. And the only proven media for permanency is microfilm, because who knows 50 years from now, are you going to be able to read this digital image of that deed or that mortgage?
Or,
That's a whole other question that comes
Electrical, EMP can destroy it or something, yeah.
up. Exactly.
When we go back to the zombie apocalypse and there's no more technology.
Yeah, right?
When it happens.
All right, Dan.
Take it away.
Thank you, Nina Postupack and Cameron Rylance. Terrific Tuesday, and you are with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920, 92.5 FM, and streaming online at mykcr.org. And my name is Dan Gatis, and it's Tuesday, July 27th, and 64 degrees now here in uptown Kingston. And the Mid-Hudson Valley weather and forecast for the next few days today, sun and a few clouds, stray shower or thunderstorm possible, with a high of 90 today. Tonight, 40% chance of thunderstorms possible this evening, followed by occasional showers overnight, low of 63. And Wednesday, 30% chance of showers in the morning with a high of 77. And Wednesday night, partly to mostly cloudy with a low of 61. Thursday, 40% chance of showers, then scattered thunderstorms developing later in the day. That's Thursday with a high of 76. And Thursday night, variable clouds with a 40% chance of scattered thunderstorms with a low of 63. We'll be right back.
Thanks for starting your day with Kingston Community Radio on 920 WGHQ AM Kingston and 92.5 W223 CR FM Kingston, New York. Magic 92.5.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Shirley Stabe from Kingston, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
You're with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920, 92.5 FM, and streaming online at mykcr.org. 64 degrees on this Tuesday, July 27th. And our call-in number is 331-9255. This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, main office, 1099 Morton Boulevard in Kingston. Let's get back to the on-air studio with Nina Postupack and Cameron Rylance. Welcome back.
And we are back. And
Thank you,
hopefully
Dan.
Dr. Roberts or someone from the community college will be joining us for this next segment.
Yeah, they've been busy out there, right?
Yeah, well, summer school, not summer school. I guess the summer session is going on.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just received their funding from the county.
Yeah, no tuition increase.
Yes, which I saw, which was fantastic. So that was a good thing. So hopefully they'll be calling in and filling us in on what's before we know it, it'll be the start of the semester again.
Yeah,
right.
It's August in a week, and college kids. I know a buddy of mine. We got a call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, Cam. Hi, Nina. It's Jen Zell from Suny, Ulster.
Well,
hi, Jen. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you guys doing?
We are just dandy. Terrific. It's terrific
Tuesday.
So
we are great.
It's Tuesday. I hear you. Absolutely.
So,
Dr. Al sends his regrets. He has a morning conflict, but he also sends his best to you both.
Well, good. We know he's busy, but we're glad you're joining us. So thank you.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Nina and I were just talking about the good news we saw in the paper about no tuition increase next year.
Yes.
How much? I don't mean I want to like put you on the spot, but how familiar are you with the budget? Like, how the heck could your budget and all that be? With the past, the expenses of last year, and the unknowingness or not knowing what the heck's going to happen
There you
6
go.
months from now.
And a little bit of decrease in enrollment. I saw the enrollment was down a little bit.
How'd you guys do it?
Just a little. We've really been able to hold the line, and it was a big effort by everyone. And the one-time funding definitely was helpful to get us to hold the line. So we're really looking forward to trying to think of the future, thinking of how we can serve more students and really, really just focus on education growth for everyone. So it's going to continue to be tough. It's not going to continue to be easy, that's for sure.
Yes. And I saw that, I think the decrease in enrollment was about 9%, which is not tremendous. But Jen, do you attribute that to the pandemic, or what do you attribute that decrease in enrollment to?
Yes, we did. And, we're still going to feel the pandemic for years to come. We have seen a consistent trend in an increase in part-time enrollment versus our full-time enrollment. So we've noticed there are students that are liking the flexibility that the remote or different virtual or synchronous or asynchronous opportunities that we've provided. They like that. They benefit from that. And then we have other students that are looking for that in-person engagement or that full-time status. So it's balancing the needs of everyone and really ensuring that we have offerings to tailor for folks looking for quick certifications or micro-credentials and others that are looking for traditional pathways or upskilling. So it's a little bit of everything.
Now, a couple of my son just graduated high school, so a couple of his buddies are starting at Ulster. Do you know any statistics about local kids or deferring going away to school and going to Ulster? Do you know, is that up or down? Is that part of the decrease, 9%?
I have to tell you, it's a little early for us to be able to pinpoint that.
Okay.
We have our finalizing enrollment days for new students through Suny Ulster's Enrollment and Success Center. That's taking place August 9th through August 16th. Of course, final registration for our continuing students who are already established with their faculty members or their academic advisors. That's taking place by appointment on Monday the 16th. But we do often find that students wait a little bit longer to maybe make their final determinations. And I have to be honest, I think we have the potential to have a busy start to August with students. So we're
good.
Very hopeful that we'll have them.
Absolutely. Now, when does the fall semester actually start?
Our classes start on August 23rd.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be rocking and rolling very soon.
And speaking of classes starting, I see and finances and so forth and tuition, I see that Darlene Pfeiffer gave a very generous donation to the college just recently.
She did. She's just phenomenal. I mean, Darlene has been a champion for so many years for our students, and her commitment to helping students achieve their dreams and make them a reality. It's just so inspiring. I know Dr. Al was just so moved by her generosity, and she presented a $1 million endowment to support the President's Challenge Scholarship. And again, he was just beyond grateful and is so appreciative of all she does for our students and now for this program.
And particularly that program, that is like such a, I don't know, life-changing program to get into. Generation, you're creating generational change in families. And
yeah, absolutely.
The whole premise of that thing it's so right on. It's wonderful.
Maybe, Jen, you can explain to those that are listening and do not know what the that program is about. Maybe you could tell them a little bit.
Absolutely. So our President's Challenge Scholarship was started in 2016 through Dr. Roberts and the college's foundation, the Ulster Community College Foundation, and a group of community donors. And we have gone from 6 students being awarded scholarships to just under 200. And the students are awarded 2-year full tuition scholarships in the 8th grade. So part of the program is they receive mentoring from our counselors at Suny Ulster during their high school experience, coupled with support from, of course, guidance counselors. And the program is in all 9 Ulster County high schools throughout the county. So it's really very far-reaching. And again, actually just last Wednesday, Dr. Roberts hosted the next incoming class that has students from Kingston High School and students from Rondout that will be incoming freshmen. And they were here in person, which was such an amazing feeling to be able to have students here with us and do an onboarding orientation session to get everybody prepped and ready for their time with us on campus in the fall.
And how many students do you have incoming this year into the program?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I'm pretty sure it's about 12 that will be on site. And again, that's that next cohort, and it increases. So once the program is in full ramp-up, we will have 200 students in the high schools and 100 on SUNY Ulster's campus.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So
That's amazing.
Really, really very
I remember when
amazing.
that program
We're
started.
So
That's
proud.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So
I mean,
they were very
8th,
excited,
9th,
and
10th,
they
11th,
each
12th.
had a moment to sit with Dr. Al and take a picture in his office and have a tour of campus. And I think the support of the students in high school is what makes this. It's not just the tuition; it's the fact that they're engaging with our counselors. They're getting to know the college ahead of time. It really does make a difference.
Yeah, well, that's starting 8th grade, that's a 5-year pipeline until, and being, having the offer, the support, academic support and the I guess you could say psychological support of having a mentor and just someone to talk to, and, that pipeline is wonderful. What an opportunity.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, can you speak anything about athletics in the fall? Are the senators' athletics back to normal, or what?
Yes. No, they are definitely returning to normal. NJCAA, everything is pretty smooth sailing. So it's a matter of fielding the teams, and we're very hopeful that we will have good participation levels. I know our athletic director, Matt Brenny, and his coaches are working very hard to engage with potential students and student athletes. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. I know we definitely are planning our soccer seasons, and again, we're very hopeful to have promising.
There's a strong history of high level soccer from Ulster. So
yeah, there is.
Absolutely.
Expectation levels,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. It's almost like the Yankees,
Yeah, right.
Ulster soccer, the George Visvari years, they were powerhouses, man.
They were, absolutely. That's for sure.
Great.
Yeah, definitely. And I always look forward to getting in the mail the catalog of all the small mini courses that are available to individuals. Everything from getting your real estate license to your notary license to learning how to, do yoga. So will that be coming out in the fall also? Those mini classes?
Yes, we are in production currently. We've kind of retooled that piece that goes out to everyone. So you'll see a little bit of a different presentation that, you're used to. But again, we do look forward to additional community programming at the Kingston Center, some sprinkling into the Stonebridge campus as well, and definitely looking forward to workforce opportunities and upskilling and continuing education opportunities. I know. We're ready.
So the Kingston branch, I guess, or outlet center is all back to normal?
Yes. So we've really had our staff on site at both of our locations fully since June 1st. We're continuing to follow SUNY's guidance, so all of our safety procedures are still in place. If you have been vaccinated, you don't have to participate in our weekly testing that we are still continuing, but we are requiring face masks in classrooms and on campus when vaccination status is unknown. So, I think what we're finding and reading about certainly more recently is it's easier to maybe share that status with an employer, but with such a large campus and a mixed community, you can't walk around and necessarily, promote that. So it's definitely a layer of safety that I think is making everybody feel even more comfortable with being in our facilities and being on our site. So.
That's very true, Jen. The comfort level of individuals is so important, and especially in an educational environment where there's so much interaction and you're in a classroom, you're in a cafeteria, whatever the case may be, you're in theater and you're practicing up on the stage, that people feel comfortable and safe. And after a year of going through what we've gone through, it's a little hard to really transition back into a school year as we knew it before. So, good for you guys, because you have to make everyone feel comfortable.
Exactly. That's definitely our key. Comfort so they can learn. That's what they're here for, right? We want to be supportive and make sure we've got an inclusive environment that everyone feels safe and ready to hit the books, ready to get their goals accomplished.
Yeah, I mean, personally, if I was, in a public setting like that, I would probably, I would probably wear a mask. If you, all day, if you're sitting in front of 5 different classes, if you're an instructor or a professor or whatever,
right?
I would probably feel safer personally wearing a mask.
Yeah. But absolutely.
When the rules are the rules, so it doesn't matter.
Follow the rules. That's for sure.
So what else is going on? Any foundation news or any events coming up?
Yes, I do. Actually, we have set the date for our gala, and we are looking to be back in person Thursday, October 7th. Our location will be announced, and it's going to be 5:30 in the evening, and our 2021 gala honorees are Drew Andrews and the Center for Creative Education.
Oh. Excellent.
Yes, we're just so pleased to honor Drew and recognize the work that CCE does in our community and with the youth in our community through arts and wellness. So we're really pleased to have them as an honoree. And we have some college awards that are given in addition to foundation awards. The Your Promise Their Future is a foundation award, and that is being given to Rich and Donna Croce, who have really shown so much generosity with philanthropy through the years to the college's foundation. And they really have been at the forefront of the President's Challenge Scholarship, in addition to everything they had done through the annual gala and our Lights for Learning, our emergency funding, and the Paul Croce Memorial Scholarship. They were recognized as top 40 and 40 donors in 2016, but they sponsored 15 students during the first 6 years of the President's Challenge Scholarship Program. So
Very
talk
generous.
about transformational.
Yes. And they are also so much involved within the community, not just at Ulster Community College. So what a great choice for that award, I have to say. A couple that never says no and always gives back.
That's right. So we're really pleased to have them recognized at the event with that award. And then the R Donovan Award is given to a member of the Suny Ulster community who shows extraordinary dedication by going above and beyond in what they do at the college. And this year we're awarding it to a faculty member and to a staff member. Goretti Benka is an assistant professor of English, but she's also our director of our Center for Teaching and Learning. And she has hands down done a phenomenal job over the past year in training faculty with everything technology-based for teaching during the pandemic.
That was a tall order to fill. Holy cow.
Yes, so she's really been doing a lot of info sessions and trainings and providing support to faculty that, again, just enabled everybody to take their level of service to students to the next level, if that's even possible, but from the classroom to the technology base. And our SUNY Ulster Health Services team, Patricia Vincent is our coordinator, Amy Mann, our college nurse, and Griffith Lewa is a part-time college nurse. During COVID, they navigated what I would call the ever-changing guideline course with us and just were unbelievable. Again, making everybody feel welcome, making sure all the regulations were followed for the mandates, and between the testing, the screening, the contact tracing, everything that needed to happen in our operation for our students and to keep our community safe, we're pleased to recognize them as well, which is great.
That's all of them are very deserving. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that's wonderful. Now the gala is just describe a little bit. It's just a dinner dance, or is there auction involved with it, or what?
So there is an auction involved, and we often auction for our charitable cause, which is supporting the students at Suny Ulster, and then also a couple of live auction items. We keep it kind of small. We may add some smaller silent auction items or a fisherman's raffle that could be available leading up to the event. We will definitely, we learned a lot last year. We did very well with our fundraising through our online platform. So we're going to continue to share information through all of our social media channels in advance of the event, and then continue with the live fundraising at the event. And again, that's Thursday, October 7th at 5:30, and we will have a location to announce soon. So we're excited to be able to be in person. It's going to be a nice feeling.
You know, Jen, it's funny that you say that in regard to mixing the virtual with the in-person fundraising, because we just had our Boys and Girls Club auction, and like you, we learned a lot last year doing the virtual auction, and so this year we rolled out the auction early in the week, and then obviously on that Thursday night we had the in-person auction, and we've done the best we've ever done in fundraising with that auction, and I think it is because of a combination of the virtual and in-person really made such a difference, and we raised the most money we've ever have. So it's amazing that what comes out of the pandemic sometimes, which is a positive, and really makes a difference.
You should be congratulated. I was just going to say, Dan did a phenomenal job. All of the directors, we were out of town, so Patrick and I were bidding online, and it was great. You still felt like you could be part of it, you know? So, yes, it's just amazing, the funds that were raised for the Boys and Girls Club. You guys should really be proud.
We did tremendous.
Yeah. Did you win what you were bidding on?
We did.
All right, congratulations. Good.
But, you know, it's very funny. I didn't realize I lost one, and it was tickets to Hershey Park, and I got back into town, and I messaged my friend Jamie Mills, and she said, "Oh, we got the tickets to Hershey Park," and I couldn't stop laughing. I said, if I had known that was you bidding, I wouldn't have kept bidding against you.
Jacking the price. That's for a good cause, though. So thank you.
But look at the fact that you were able to bid while you're on vacation, and you were able to support the club. You know, 2 years ago that would never have happened. If you weren't here, you weren't in the game, and so it makes a huge difference. And it's nice also because you get a little text message on your phone that somebody just outbid you, so you can bid back, and it's nice. It's good.
It really was a great platform. So congratulations for sure.
Thank you. And you will have something very similar to that, correct, Jen?
You know, we have, I'll double check on the Give Smart platform. We do have a landing page where you can go on and log in and get notifications. So it'll just be a matter of us finalizing which items of those are available online. And again, it'll definitely be a great way to combine some, like you're saying, folks who may not be able to join us on the for the evening function, folks that live in other states, family members that can help support a student from afar. So we're hopeful to be able to reach individuals, like you said, virtually. So
that would be great. Yes.
Well, if you can say something positive about the pandemic, it's the growth of communications. Virtual auctions, Zoom, all those types of things. So,
even education,
something good did
in the
come
classroom.
out of it. Yeah, and classroom, the ability to remotely teach.
I'd say adaptability, flexibility, and connectivity. I think those have been the three themes that we've tried to, infuse in everything that we've done throughout the last year. And we do have the Be Like Anita Award. That will be selected by Dr. Al to a member of the community, and that'll be announced during the gala campaign. So we're looking forward to it.
That's another. We talked about Darlene Pfeiffer. Anita Peck.
Yes.
And it's kind of strikes me as two. Incredibly generous philanthropists in our community. Women. Women, which is a wonderful statement about our society here in little old Ulster County. That successful women, business people, and entrepreneurs. Supporting our community. So that's it's wonderful.
We're very fortunate.
Yeah.
Very, very fortunate.
Jen, if someone, because this is the time of year, if someone is interested in possibly taking courses or attending the college in the fall, what are some of the ways that they can reach out to you and get information, financial aid, courses, so forth, from you?
So the best number to reach us is in our admissions office, which we refer to as the Enrollment and Success Center. And the number is 845-687-5022. Talk about a team that's adapted. We've now moved to one-on-one virtual registration appointments. And you can go right to our website, www.sunyulster.edu, and you'll be able to find a link to register for virtual one-on-one appointments with an admissions counselor. And again, we've definitely seen an increase in the number of students that are accessing our counselors because it's a click of a button, and they schedule a time, and it's very, very easy to do.
You mean it's not frustrating like when I went to college? You had to go to open enrollment in the gym and stand in line and pray that you could get into English 103 because
That's
you needed
so
it
true.
for your degree and you only had 2 semesters left to take it?
And you're in the back of the line.
Yeah, and you're going, oh, no, please. You're counting people. Oh, come on. You should offer that just as halfway through the semester, so you give a demonstration of how lucky you kids are.
Yeah.
These days. the days of open enrollment.
It used to be like.
Yeah, I mean, I went to RIT, which is a big school, but imagine like kids in Ohio State or whatever, what they're missing out on. Yeah, it's funny.
No, I know. I know you had met with our colleague Meg Shealy, who's the Dean of Enrollment Management and Student Affairs, and she's really part of the team leading the team for admissions. And again, they've done a dynamic job with really rising to the virtual challenge and saying, how can we serve students and engage in virtual appointments so that we don't skip a beat, that we're here. They know that we're here for them. Yep. So it's been quite a team approach. They're incredible counselors.
Was it they put the U in community? Nah, that's corny. That's corny.
Well, that's good.
Corny. That's not bad. I'm thinking on the fly here.
There you go.
So Jen, that's great. So any other? We got about a minute or so left. Any other?
Yeah. The only other plug I wanted to mention from a community plug would be the registration for the Benedictine Health Foundation's Bike for Cancer just opened. Sunday, September 26th, and there's a 5K run walk that is in memory and honor of Tommy Keegan. The 50-mile bike ride is in memory of Dan Barnes, and the other 2 bike rides are in honor of the volunteers that usually work for the Bike for Cancer Care. So I wanted to mention that plug, in addition to again, just that number for admissions, if anybody is looking to connect with a counselor, is 687-5022 or sunyulster.edu.
Is this the offshoot, or is it the growth of the Gruner, the Rose Gruner
Yes.
event?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
So through the Health Foundation for the Rosemary Gruner Fund. So that's a September event, and then October 7th for the college's foundation.
Yeah, excellent. All right.
And I'm sure there are a lot of other community organizations looking to promote for their causes and jump back into, fundraising within the community.
Yeah. Well, this is the perfect outlet for them, so we can get them on the radio.
There you go.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. So Jen, thank you so much. We appreciate your time and all your info, and certainly the work you're doing to help our community college. So.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Jen.
You both.
Definitely.
Be well.
Yeah. Good luck,
too.
and give Dr. Roberts our best. So
Yes,
thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Take care,
Happy
Jen.
to.
All
Okay.
right.
Bye now.
Bye.
There's a lot going out there in Stone Ridge.
There is, absolutely.
Jump and joint, which is great. So
fantastic.
It's part of fabric of our community, and one of the best, little secrets in the Hudson Valley is Suny Ulster. So
yes, it is.
It's wonderful. So, all right, we are about at the top of the hour, and I think our next guests are in the other room. So we'll be back with birthdays, hopefully, and then we'll see what the library folks are here. So, Dan, why don't you take it away?
Thank you. Nina Postupack, Cameron Rylance. Thank you so much, and thank you, Suny Ulster, Jen Zell, for calling in and updating us on everything Suny Ulster. KCR is Kingston Community Radio, WGHQ, AM 920 and 92.5 FM, and streaming online at mykcr.org. Tuesday, July 27th, 64 degrees right now here in Uptown Kingston. This last portion of Kingston Community Radio has been brought to you by Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, 1099 Morton Boulevard in Kingston, their main office. And a little bit about the weather and forecast for the next few days. Today, sun and a few clouds, stray showers or thunderstorm possible, a high of 90. Tonight, 40% chance of thunderstorms possible this evening, followed by occasional showers overnight. Low of 63, that's for tonight. And Wednesday, 30% chance of showers in the morning, a high of 77. Wednesday night, partly to mostly cloudy with a low of 61. Thursday, a 40% chance of showers, then scattered thunderstorms developing later in the day, a high of 76. And Thursday night, variable clouds with a 40% chance of scattered thunderstorms, a low of 63. We'll be right back.
Thanks for starting your day with Kingston Community Radio on 920 WGHQ AM Kingston and 92.5 W223CR FM Kingston, New York. Magic 92.5.
Hi, this is Tony Marmo from Norman Staffing, and we've been bringing together employers and job seekers since 1980. If you're an employer and have job vacancies, let Norman Staffing help fill them with permanent or temporary workers. We screen, interview, and recommend the best candidates for your company. We make the employment process easier and faster for you. Please call Norman Staffing for your employment needs at 338-9111, 338-9111, or normanstaffing.com.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed. We are a global force for good. Support causes that matter. Change lives. Change communities. Change the world. We can do more together than we can alone. Join in. Experience the joy of serving. Be part of the movement. Give back. Let's unite the world for good. We are Lions. You can be too. Visit weserve.org.
Hi, this is Dina Roy from Hurley, and I support the Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
And we're back. You're listening to WGHQ AM 920 and 92.5 FM, the home of Kingston Community Radio. My name is Dan Gatus, and it is 8:03 a.m., 64 degrees on this Tuesday, July 27th, a terrific Tuesday. This segment of KCR is brought to you by the Kingston Lions Club, serving the Kingston Ulster County area since 1941. And let's get back to the on-air studio right now for all the festivities and action of the 8 o'clock hour. Welcome back.
And we will kick off this 8 o'clock hour with the birthday segment.
We have birthdays. Isn't that nice, Cameron?
Three, and we've even listed one of our guests, Margie, to
wish a happy birthday. Excellent.
I handed it to you.
All right.
All right, so let's, why don't you start off?
Sure. We are wishing a happy birthday to Midge Stott from her friends at the Hurley Pearlers.
Okay, and I am wishing a happy birthday to Jim Miller from members and friends of the Centerville Methodist Church.
Oh, there you go. And I have a lovely postcard from, we don't know who sent it in, but it's happy birthday to Cindy Montaigne. It says, we all love you. So we all love you, Cindy. So congratulations. So let's put this in the randomizer, come up with our winner, and congratulations. Midge Stott, you are the lucky winner of a cow pie from Boyce Brothers Dairy, 62 O'Neill Street. Go down there, see Sally or any of the fine folks.
Can you repeat the name? I was mooing during
That was Midge Stott.
Midge Stott.
Congratulations, Midge. You are the cow pie winner. So, go stock up on all your dairy stuff at Boyce Brothers and get your free cow pie and share it with all your friends on a hot summer day like today is. So, congratulations.
Yes, and thank you for sending in those birthdays. Dan, how many ways can we send in birthdays?
Two great ways. One is to email them to kcr921@gmail.com. kcr921@gmail.com, and then you can also send them in at Post Office Box 4364, Kingston, New York 12402.
Great. So get those birthdays in so we can give away those cow pies.
So, Kingston Library. What's
Yes.
new on our beautiful Suny library?
Well, before we got on the air, we were talking about summer reading, and I just want to let people know that it's not too late to join into summer reading. Kids, adults, teens can jump in at any time. There's no beginning necessarily. You can just start in. So if you go to our website at kingstonlibrary.org and see some of the programs, see some of the activities that you might be interested in, please join us. It's not too late.
Great.
Except they did miss a great program last night. There was a virtual tea with author Lori King, who writes the Mary Russell Sherlock Holmes series. And she was very interesting.
She was very interesting, but we have lots more programs coming up for all ages, adults, teens, kids. Just check out our website and you can find stuff there. And, of course, read. We have lots of books and.
And if you join the adult program, you'll get an avatar on the wall, and they'll start stacking books up under your avatar.
I like that.
Yes, Addie Smock, our new assistant director, came up with this idea that for adults, you're right, it's a visual competition where she photocopies the spines of the books and stacks them, and I can see people's book stacks adding up on the walls around the building. It's very fun.
And she'll even let you read ebooks, and you have to send her the title and the author, and she finds a comparable book to.
That's cool.
So I've been doing it that way.
Yep.
So just go to the website.
Just go to the website or stop in, even better. We're fully open. We do ask people to wear masks when they're inside the building, but we are fully open. People can stop in anytime, no appointments. The whole library is open, and it's kind of fun because we're seeing lots more kids now with families and really enjoying their library again. It's nice.
I thought you guys were on last week because I had saved a newspaper article, letter to the editor. Did you see that from the head of the library?
I'm sorry.
The Library Coalition, or
Rebecca Smith Aldrich.
Yes,
She's the executive director of the Mid-Hudson Library System in Poughkeepsie, which we are a member of, one of the 66 member libraries. And she did write a letter to the editor.
An eye-opening letter.
Yes.
I was like, wow, some of the
about
facts and statistics about
federal
libraries.
funding for library construction. A lot of libraries are older buildings, much like Kingston Library. You can see the 1888 date right on the front of our building. And we are doing our best to maintain and renovate and keep that library as a, physical resource for the people of the city of Kingston, but it's tough. It's expensive.
Yeah, and she had thrown out some statistics, like over half of the libraries nationwide, don't meet ADA standards. Most of them, she threw a percentage out, are they're all aging for the most part. But,
a lot of the libraries in this area are over 75 to 100 years old. They were Carnegie libraries. And they've been renovated as possible, but in some cases,
you can only do so much.
Yeah. Our wiring and plumbing and heating system go back to when this was a school in Kingston.
Yeah.
Yep. So while we know new paint and carpet would look really great, if we don't replace the wiring, I'm going to still have nightmares.
And, very true.
And
I hate to say it, but, our heating and air conditioning systems are nearing the end of their, useful life. We all know about, from homeowners to building administrators. And, we are, at this point, making very expensive repairs to an aging system.
And paying higher utility costs, larger carbon footprint, the inefficiency, a 50% boiler. Modern ones are 85%. Just just the carbon footprint you could reduce with upgrading.
And we know that the city of Kingston, with their climate action plan, is trying to move away from fossil fuels, reduce the whole city's carbon footprint, and we're trying to be part of that. So, we have a long-range plan to move away from natural gas for our heating system to a geothermal system. But, we were working with an energy auditor who's saying, your building is so leaky that you really need to seal the building envelope before you can even determine what kind of system you can use for a geothermal system. And then once, so it's multiple steps. And what the letter that Rebecca Smith Aldrich wrote was saying that libraries are part of community infrastructure, just the way our schools are, our roads are, all of our infrastructure, and should be included in the federal infrastructure funding, as such. Right. So, yes, the local city of Kingston taxpayers support their library and they vote in their election every year. And the state of New York does have a library construction program, but it's time for federal funding as well to support libraries at every level because we really, truly need it.
It's a really very, very good point because, all the municipalities, the governments, your roads, your bridges, and so forth, you don't even think twice about federal funds going into all of those infrastructures. But you don't think about it when it comes to the library and what an important aspect of our community the library is. And just like government and everything else, it really needs to be sustained by government dollars. And I did see that letter. It was an excellent letter. And it was very statistical.
I kicked around my house for a week and accidentally just recycled it. But
well, I'm glad you brought it up because
I carried it around and I wanted to, because it was important. I read it. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Eye opener, sort of, to a degree. So.
And I do want to say that our local elected representatives, Assemblyperson Representative Delgado and Senator
Hinchy.
Kirsten
Gillibrand on the federal level
have signed on to support federal funding for their library. So we're very pleased with our local folks.
It is
helping us out in that way.
If they can get the bill passed, which it seems to be stalled right now.
Yeah.
But we're looking at long range having to raise somewhere between $6 and $10 million in order to do
that's for Kingston Library alone.
Kingston Library, for our library to make the adjustments we need. You're all familiar with this. When you have problems, they put new pipe in. They don't take the old pipe out. So when you take down our ceiling tiles, because a lot of our vent structure is in the ceilings, the drop ceilings, it looks like a maze.
What's old, what's new, what's,
Yeah.
And getting into our attic requires skill as an acrobat. Am I jesting?
Let alone getting equipment or,
our attic,
material and work
You go up one ladder and then have to step across to the second ladder to get the rest of the way up. I don't even want to look at it.
And that's getting into an attic that is inadequately insulated, that is, older and a little bit, not from the roof, because our roof is nicely done and new, but between the second floor and the attic itself, it's quite leaky air-wise.
I'm sure, yeah.
And that's not efficient. It's not responsible for us to be maintaining a building in that way. We're, as you said, Cam, we're spending too much money to heat a building. We need to, we need to take care of it.
Yep.
But, down the road. And
looking at it, planning.
We're planning, and I, one of the things I wanted to talk about today, and I'm going to have Ursula talk about this too, is, how we plan and how we make this stuff happen. And much of it, a lot of it depends on that 9-member elected board that oversees and governs the library. So I'm going to let Ursula talk about what's coming up for us.
I believe today is the day petitions become available.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be back in mid-August. Being a trustee involves a certain commitment of time and energy. We figured it out one time. If you do the one committee meeting a month, you prepare for the board meeting with the handouts that are sent to you electronically and come to the board meeting, you're averaging about 6 to 8 hours a month, which is a commitment, but it's not a huge commitment. It's something you can do. And if you're saying, well, I can't do it, I'm a single parent, We have had children come to board meetings. They sit in the back and do their homework. They go into the children's room when we're open on Thursday night and they work on the computer. It is not unusual for us to have little people in the room somewhere.
My own child came to board meetings when she was small.
So it's, if you have children at home, that's not necessarily a deterrent. You don't need to get the babysitter. Bring them with you. Let them get used to using the library and liking it. The other thing is we do have a number of committees and people serve on different ones. I served on Standards and Development, which wrote our policies for a while. And now I'm on the Operations Committee, which is working on toward the renovation of the building and the smaller projects.
How many standing committees are there?
I think we have 3 standing committees and 1 that meets occasionally. We have Standards and Development, Community Engagement, and Operations are the regular committees.
And board members are required to be, or
On
trustees
one.
rather, on one. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And there are committees with more than 1 trustee on them.
And and the committees are open to the public or just
Absolutely, we would love to have them. Because when we're in
outside input.
Outside input, hear what the community has to say. Community engagement is trying to reach out to draw the attention from the community. Nina was one of their first guests pre-COVID when they did the Kingston Getting to Know Yourself. That committee kind of slowed down and is restarting because of COVID. We couldn't run programs where people were coming.
That's cool.
We do ask our members of the board have to sign an ethics statement. We don't. We avoid nepotism if at all possible. Occasionally, we've had a board member whose husband works in a construction field and we're putting out a grant. And he isn't the owner of the company, but he works for a company that's applied to do the work. And in a community this size, you can't avoid that. No, we just have to make sure everybody knows that's what happened.
Transparent and exactly. And the bids are
bids.
Right.
Open and fair, and everyone's bidding on the same list of specs. So
But it happens,
Yeah.
And we would like as many different kinds of people and different interests to join the board. We've gone through cycles since I've been on the board. We had when I first joined, we had several mothers with younger children, like middle school and younger. And they were very concerned about policies dealing with children and children being accompanied by an adult in the library. We had one who was a teacher who worked with low-income students, and she came to the board and said, we need to change our fine policy, which we had at the time, to max out at a lesser level so that people weren't running up. If you got over $2, you couldn't take something out. But $2 for most people is a manageable amount.
And I'd like to point out that we have since done away entirely with overdue fines. We do not charge overdue fines at all anymore.
No, we haven't. It was a year in April.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. So you're not going to get any of those stories that somebody returned Moby Dick from 1963?
Right.
$11,000 worth of fines or whatever.
Exactly.
Every once in a while, you see those articles in the paper now. You see those,
We could tell you what we would have charged,
Yeah.
but don't
By the way,
anymore.
we just saved you.
And that, again, is because it shuts out people who don't have that $2.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And what happens with families, if they have mom, dad, and 3 kids, they max out one card, and then they max out another card. And pretty soon you've got 5 cards that are there, and now you're looking at $10, $12, which is a larger amount to pull out of your budget.
Yeah, so we just don't do that
We just
anymore.
don't do that anymore.
And it probably encourages people to return, not knowing you not owe anything.
Yeah, knowing that you don't have to pay that fine when you bring the book
because
back.
you get, at some point, it's like an embarrassment issue. It's like,
Yes.
geez, I owe $20 or whatever it is. I owe money on this book, and
It really is, yeah.
I know for a while, I guess Kingston did it too. We never when I worked in Saugerties, they never charged more than 2/3 of the price of the book for fines. It was always cheaper to return it
Oh, than to buy it.
than to buy it.
And frankly, I've always been a soft touch. If people said, "Oh, I have all these fines," I would say, "We just want the books back. We'll never mind the fines." No, not even that. Never mind the fines. We just want the stuff back. It's fine.
Because some of them you can't replace
Yeah.
on some topics.
And, talking about trustees again, one of the really great things about being a trustee within the Mid-Hudson Library System is the training and education that the system provides for our
noticed
trustees.
that.
It's really remarkable. Sometimes you join a board or a commission or something of that nature, stemming from your sense of public service, and you don't really know, how it operates or what your role there is. One of the things that the Mid-Hudson Library System does is they provide training right from the beginning. They have something called Basic Trustee Training, Essential Trustee Training, that teaches you right from day one what your role is as a library trustee in New York State, and it's actually recognized as excellent training that was developed here in the Mid-Hudson Library System and has now gone statewide and is looked at nationwide as sort of a model of training for library trustees.
I think that's phenomenal. Through my years, I've been on numerous boards, and I have never, ever gone through a training becoming a board member. Once you get onto the board and you get acclimated to what their mission is and so forth. But this is fantastic, and I'm sure that this training can be applied to many different boards as well as many different, public service that you do throughout the community. So what a great opportunity. Not only are you becoming a library trustee, but you are obtaining this training. I think that's really fantastic.
Is it a in-person thing? Like they have seminars or, a convention type thing? Or?
I've been to several of them because we require board members, if you're reelected, to go at least once every 4 years because little things change, things slip your mind to go back and redo it. So I have taken it 4 times. Usually it's in person. This last time it was online as a Zoom meeting. We've had them many times at Kingston Library on a Saturday morning, and it starts about 9 and finishes about 12:30.
Is this someone like from the state?
Nope.
No,
It's Rebecca Smith Aldrich and the other.
Okay. Now, is this her
consultants.
training, or is this training that she is just delivering?
She and colleagues have written and developed this training right here in the Mid-Hudson Library System.
She's been doing it for years, even before she was the executive director.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and they've also started developing other things. I've been to things on the open meeting law, things on finances and
legal issues
and all of these other things as more advanced trainings. You have to have done the essentials, and then you after a year you can apply for intermediate and other training. I take as many of them as I physically can.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
wonderful opportunity.
Yeah. The fiscal, just the complication, reading a balance sheet or, the financial statements that your auditor's giving you. A lot of people, I mean, you can look at the bottom and figure it out, but knowing what those numbers in the middle mean is important, particularly budget-wise, trustees,
And that's one of the primary functions of library trustees.
Yeah.
There's 3 primary functions, and that's to hire a qualified director, ensure adequate funding, and set policy. And so those 3 areas, not all of us who have an aptitude for public service understand all of these issues. So the Mid-Hudson Library's consultants stepped up and said, let's make sure that these people who are really wanting to serve their community can do it in the best way possible and in a supported way. So they came up and developed this training that really, I think,
it's amazing,
supports our trustees to support our community. And it's really quite remarkable how well it works.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that really is.
I mean, I've been Kiwanis, board Elks officer, and normally you have to go to a state convention, to pick up which requires time, money.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just for a rank and file person.
Is a lot.
That's a
It
challenge.
can be a lot, yeah.
Absolutely.
They give this training spring and fall, and
the secretary of the board of trustees has different roles than the chairperson.
Yep.
Yes.
Whatever, and
when they do them spring and fall, there's
learning on
like
the fly
3
is not good.
sessions. So you can pick one that's, if you're working, they usually have one in an evening or a Saturday morning, so that you're able to physically take the training that's available for you. And we passed a board rule years ago that you have to take the training within 6 months of joining the board, and you have to renew it once every 4 years once you're on the board.
So let's just go over these dates again for the trustees. So today, right, it opens
starting today.
Availability for petitions. The petitions are due back on Tuesdays.
They are due back on
There's another date.
Monday, August 23rd.
Yeah, there you go.
Monday, August 23rd by
And you
5
need
p.m.
25 qualified signatures. All have to be residents and voters, registered voters in the city of Kingston. And the election will be on Tuesday, September 21st.
Mhm.
And you're electing 3 trustees every year, three a year?
We're staggered.
Yes.
Three.
So it's a 4-year
3-year
turnover.
3-year turnover.
Oh, it's 9, not 12. Okay. Yeah, so that's why we're talking about this, listeners. So it opens today for anyone interested, and you got 3-4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
to
About a
get it
month.
back. About a month to get it back. So please.
And
if
when
you're
they
interested-
get signatures, I've run into this in the city of Kingston. You have to live and be registered to vote in the city of Kingston. There are people with Kingston mailing addresses who are actually living in the town of Ulster.
Town of Kingston.
Or the
Town of Kingston, Town of Esopus.
So we have always recommended that you get a few extra in case somebody doesn't realize they're on the wrong side of the line. And they sign it for you because they're at somebody's house. Oh, great, I'll sign for you. And they're not eligible in the city of Kingston. So we do recommend getting a couple of extra signatures just in case.
And the top 3 vote getters win, obviously, right?
Yes.
So
Do you have
is it
incumbents?
I remember last time, I think 5 people ran the last
We
election.
had we had people who left the board and someone filled in, and they're appointed to the next election, and then they run for the balance of the term. And the top 3 get the full term, and the second and third get the lesser terms that come in there.
And do you have incumbents running again this year or no?
We do have at least one incumbent running this year, but we are looking for folks to step up and serve if they're interested.
It's a great opportunity.
It's a
right
great
now.
opportunity, and I'm going to say it's a nonpartisan election. You know, we're just encouraging any community member to come and run for a seat. It's a way to serve every member of your community. You know, we serve folks from birth to old age. It's really a wonderful way to really serve the full range of your community. And I want to make the point that if folks do want to, you know, if they're thinking and they're not certain, they can pick up the petition, they can get the signatures. That holds no obligation. Their name doesn't get on the ballot until they turn those petitions back in. So, you know, if anyone is listening and thinking, I might like to do that, come pick up a petition, look through the material, because we give a whole packet of information, including the board bylaws, what it means to be a trustee, all of that good stuff. You can start gathering your signatures and decide as you go. You have a month to get signatures. That way you're, you know, doing what needs to be done and giving yourself the opportunity to run should you decide to.
It's a great way to meet some of your neighbors that you don't normally see out walking the dog, because you knock on the door and say,
Sure.
I live 2 houses down and I'd
Right.
like to sign the petition so I can be on the library board.
That's very true.
You know, and I've
Several of my neighbors that way.
And I've heard other trustee candidates say that it was a wonderful way to have conversations about their community. You know, why are you running for the library board? What do you think about living in Kingston? That kind of thing. And while people might be thinking, oh, I have to go out and gather signatures, I have never heard anybody say they had a bad experience doing that. They all enjoy it. It's a way to engage with folks in the community, and it's. I mean, I haven't done it here in Kingston, but I hear great things, and I know that Kingston's a great community.
And how many on the board?
4 times, 9 people.
9 people.
9 people.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in my last year serving as president, but I have another year in my term before I decide whether I'm running again, which I probably will do.
And how many years have you been on?
I started in 2009, so it comes
Oh.
out like I'm in my 13th year or something.
Wow.
We
That's a
have,
commitment.
we have some folks like Ursula who serve for extended periods of time, and we're so grateful. But honestly, we're grateful for people who step up and serve 1 3-year term. If everybody in the community decided that they were going to, you know, commit to public service in whatever way for even a short period of time, we'd be in a great, great position.
I think that was one of the positions of the founding fathers, like the 2 years in the in Congress.
Yeah.
Right.
That people could leave their farm or their plantation or whatever, go serve 2 years and then go home.
It wasn't meant to be a career.
It wasn't
Right,
meant to be a
right.
lifetime career. It was meant to be something you did, like passed it around the community.
Your
Right.
duty to serve your
Yes.
your community, your country, whatever.
We'd certainly love to have those people.
Yep.
Contact information, phone number, website.
Yes, you can find all of our contact information at our website, kingstonlibrary.org. You can call me directly at 845-339-4260, extension 14, and you can call the main phone number, which again is on our website, 845-331-0507, or just stop into the library.
There you go. That's the best way. Come
Yep.
on down.
Come
Fully
on
open.
in. Yep.
Plenty of hours.
Love to see you.
Air
Yep.
conditioned.
And you can pick up your petition packet at the same time.
Beautiful landscaping.
Perfect.
No reason.
That's right.
That's right. Come
Yeah.
on down. Well, ladies, thank you so much. We're at
Yes.
the bottom of the hour, and
Excellent.
it's time to go. So thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Yes.
Perfect. And thank you, Ursula, and thank you, Marjorie, for coming in and filling us in on everything the public library has to offer. And thank you, Benjamin Franklin. It's 8:30 a.m., and you are listening to KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920 and 92.5 FM. It's July 27th, and it's 66 degrees right now here in Uptown Kingston. This last portion of Kingston Community Radio was brought to you by the Kingston Lions Club, serving the Kingston, Ulster County area since 1941, and call them at 845-901-9067, 845-901-9067. A local chapter that connects you to a global force for good. And Mid-Hudson Valley weather and forecast one more time. Today, sun and a few clouds, stray shower or thunderstorm possible, high of 90. And tonight, 40% chance of thunderstorms possible this evening, followed by occasional showers overnight, a low of 63. Wednesday, a 30% chance of showers in the morning with a high of 77. And that's a nice cool day. Not too bad. Wednesday night, partly to mostly cloudy with a low of 61. Thursday, a 40% chance of showers and scattered thunderstorms developing later in the day, a high of 76. And Thursday night, variable clouds with a 40% chance of scattered thunderstorms, a low of 63. So after today's high of 90, we have a few nice days coming up, only going up to about 77. We'll be right back.
Thanks for starting your day with Kingston Community Radio on 920 WGHQ AM Kingston and 92.5 W223 CR FM Kingston, New York. Magic 92.5.
Hi, this is Tony Marmo from Norman Staffing, and we've been bringing together employers and job seekers since 1980. If you're an employer and have job vacancies, let Norman Staffing help fill them with permanent or temporary workers. We screen, interview, and recommend the best candidates for your company. We make the employment process easier and faster for you. Please call Norman Staffing for your employment needs at 338-9111, 338-9111, or normanstaffing.com.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed. We are a global force for good. Support causes that matter. Change lives. Change communities. Change the world. We can do more together than we can alone. Join in. Experience the joy of serving. Be part of the movement. Give back. Let's unite the world for good. We are Lions. You can be too. Visit weserve.org.
Hi, my name's Maggie. I'm from Copiague, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
And thank you for being with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, on a terrific Tuesday. And WGHQ is AM 920, 92.5 FM, and streaming online at mykcr.org. Your call-in number is 331-9255, 331-9255. This upcoming portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Rondout Savings Bank. Rondout Savings, always working for you and our community with branches in Kingston, West Hurley, and Hyde Park. Also, online at rondoutbank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Let's get back to the on-air studio with Nina Postupack, Cameron Rylance, and Paul Hakim.
And our guest, the final stretch, the
Yes.
home leg, Paul Hakim.
Good morning.
Welcome, Paul.
How was
You
everybody
look nice
today?
and relaxed, tan. You've been out working in the garden or
Yeah,
what?
actually, no. We we were in Syracuse over the weekend and were able to get my wife's mother out of the nursing home for the first time. She was out of her room in the nursing home since last March.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
So they were totally locked down up in Syracuse. Although all of the patients were vaccinated, only half of the staff is vaccinated. So I think now it's like
By their
they're
choice?
trying to now they're trying to protect the staff. So it's kind of they're messing with
job,
these
get
old.
vaccinated. Come
well,
on,
they're
man.
messing with these old people. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? These people are, they need the help. And literally, she, for 18 months or whatever it was, only saw somebody with a mask on in her room. Did not
That's
leave her room.
really-
No dining room, no nothing. She was in her room for that
That's
long.
horrible.
We went up every week or so, and we're doing window visits. So they'd open the window like 4 or 5 inches, and in Syracuse in the winter, that was interesting.
Yeah, that's all you want.
You're right,
Well,
Cameron.
us standing out there.
Now,
yeah.
I haven't even asked personal questions, but is she?
She's mobile. She had a mild stroke. Just can't take care of herself, and
But
it's
getting her out, taking a stroll, fresh air.
no stroll. She's a walker in oxygen, but we got her out to my brother-in-law's lake house.
That's cool.
It was just great to see her look at the sun and soak in the rays, and just sucking fresh air.
Yeah.
So we had her out
That's awesome,
3 days in a row for like 4 hours.
Great.
And my wife's whole family was together too, so it was good.
Yeah, when's the last time she saw the whole family together?
Yeah, that's right.
18 months,
Yep.
2 years, whatever, so that's awesome. That's great.
So
man. That's good.
so it was great. But my brother-in-law's got a wakeboard boat.
Oh.
So I was wakeboarding. It was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that is cool.
I
Picks
actually
up the big.
I got up I got up the first time, and was surfing most of the day on Saturday.
Got
and
it.
then,
What lake is he on?
DeRuyter Reservoir. It's an old Erie Canal reservoir, a little bit south of Syracuse. Then my brother-in-law took me on a mountain bike ride on Sunday. I haven't worked out like that in a while, and
Muscles you didn't know you had, right?
And I haven't gone over the handlebars in a long time.
Oh, yeah. Well, you didn't crack your skull open. That's
Yeah, it was great. It really was. It was fun. Try something different and get outside. And,
Yes.
I got a lot of sun, but it's good. I've been spending too much time in the office the last couple months. We've been really busy.
Well,
So
you're making your money, you got to.
yeah, I need a skylight or something so I can get tanned at the desk.
Yeah,
Right, I know. Or a little fresh air.
You get a Wi-Fi
Right.
booster and work out in the garden or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and the veggies are just starting. I'm sorry, I should have brought you some cucumbers and tomatoes.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I
Tomatoes
you have
just
red
started,
tomatoes?
right? Yeah, we
I
did.
don't have any red tomatoes. I have a lot of green ones, but
Yeah, they're pretty funky shaped because
Yeah, they are.
we were dry for a while, and then so much water. They
They were
look.
good. We had
blowing
some
up,
last
yeah.
night. They were good.
I haven't no green
Not yet,
ones
huh?
or no red ones yet.
No.
no.
Yeah,
Our
no.
cucumber was a little.
Yeah, I got the
bitter.
big garden salad in the car for lunch today.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, maybe I might even
Yeah, you
lose a
can't
couple
let
pounds.
you got to keep cucumbers small. You can't let them get big. Then they
That's
get
what
seedy.
happened. That's just what
They
happened.
get too seedy.
Yes.
I try to do that, but there's always that couple that are hiding in the back.
Yeah.
And it was
Don't
like,
say yes.
whoa, is that a cucumber or a zucchini?
Yeah, yeah. or
right,
a
yeah,
zucchini.
yeah, yeah.
It's not there one day. 2 days later, it's
yeah.
it looks like a
It feeds,
French bread, a loaf
feeds,
of bread.
Yeah,
or whatever,
feeds
yeah.
10. So what is new in Ulster County?
Not a whole heck of a lot. Yeah, right?
Well, we're hoping you were going to
It's
tell
not
us.
raining.
Yes.
It's not raining. Although that is one thing. All the rain we've had. I
Yes.
brought this in to see because I've talked about our drought. We've been in a drought condition for years. We are still 2 inches short of our normal year to date.
We are.
The normal year to date is 22.17. Our year to date is 20.29. So
In June or July or the trailing 30, I think we got like 8 inches of rain.
Yes.
yeah, but we were like a foot down. Remember, like over the
I do.
like April, March, we were like literally 12 inches below. We're supposed to get an inch. I remember Orville Norman years ago. Normal, upstate New York, we should have average an inch of rain a week.
A week.
Inch of precipitation. So 50 inches a year should be our normal, whatever.
Okay.
So
And what are we at now?
20 something.
And we're halfway
22.
through the
We're 22.
22. So
And
a
we're
little over
through the
halfway
year.
through the
Normally
year.
today, 22 inches. Yeah. So we're, yeah,
If we have another month like we just had, we'll
We'll go way over.
we'll go above it. But if you have groundwater, the last couple of years have been dry, historically dry. And if you have,
I think last summer was the driest summer we had in a long time.
and if you got like Saugerties, they get all their water out of a well. They're in the town of Ulster gets well water, so there's things to worry about. And out west, geez,
Oh, that's terrible.
The
Yes.
smoke, the haze, that's unbelievable.
Yes,
That
it
really
is.
is unbelievable.
When a fire in Oregon affects
us
our
here.
air in Kingston, that's like, wow, man.
You'd think
the
it was like
winds.
China or something. The air was so bad.
Yeah, like Beijing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Right.
Unbelievable. Some cool sunsets and sunrises with the orange.
Yeah, but
and the moon.
last week it wasn't even sunrise or sunset. It was middle of the day. We had that orange sun.
No,
That was
I
pretty
know.
crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. So have you been traveling?
No, I have not. Heading back down south probably in about a week.
There you go.
Hoping to sneak a long weekend in the Cape at some point. Actually take some vacation.
Yeah.
My other trips are work trips, so it's not as much fun.
Yeah,
but
I'm psyched. We're going to Lake George next week for a couple of days.
Okay, great.
Camping with some buddies.
Yeah, I was up there a week and a half ago. We had a real estate investor conference up in Saratoga for 4 days. So we went out on Lake George on a dinner cruise, which was really nice. Hit the Christmas in July cruise.
There you go.
And then we were able to hit the first night of track, opening day.
there you go. Cool.
I hadn't been to Saratoga in 20 years, and I
so
forgot
that's
how
sweet.
beautiful a facility it is.
Yeah, it is. It's
is.
beautiful up there.
It's
Absolutely.
still cheap, $2 to walk in or whatever?
Yeah, we bought a block of clubhouse seats and
there you
stuff,
go,
but
yeah.
still they were
Yeah.
only like $38 a seat or something like that.
Very reasonable.
Affordable.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's it, 40 days or something like that? Or not even?
Yeah.
45. They extended. It's 45 days of racing.
Yes.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
So do you see an uptick in air travel when you're in the airports and
It's
on the
out
planes?
of control. Yeah.
Oh, it
Yeah,
is?
really out of
Okay.
control. It's so busy. That and the rent-a-cars. Rent-a-cars are non-existent. My son was up in Syracuse over the weekend, and he had taken some pictures because my brother-in-laws, they both just flew out on golf trips and were complaining about how crowded it was. And we were traveling all through COVID, and my son had pictures of, we were at a conference in September, and we came back to the Indianapolis airport, and we pulled up the ramp to the departing gates, and you have that like quarter-mile long stretch with all the airline signs and everything.
Right, yeah.
As soon as we got up to the top of the hill, there was a police car, and there was not one car or one person visible in that whole stretch.
That'd be
And the
eerie.
Uber driver goes, "Are they open?"
Yeah, when you're
And it was wild. And now fast forward, it's back to normal chaos. And and from what I understand and see on the news, there's a lot of tension too because they're still trying to get people to mask up.
A buddy of mine's wife is a flight attendant. She does international, like 10-hour flights. She said it's like people like forgot how to be human. It's on like the rudeness and tension and it's crazy.
Well, I don't know what it is, but I don't think it's just on the airplane. I think people in general, a lot of people are just ornery. It's,
Yes, I agree with
people
you.
are nasty and,
I've seen a difference in people.
it seems like society is decaying before our eyes.
Yeah. Well, and I think people were very compassionate when the pandemic first started. People were concerned about one another. At least I saw that with the public that we were dealing with. And then I think now we're probably back to normal, but it's such a switch from
seems
how
worse, yeah.
nice everyone was during the pandemic and, concerned and so forth. But I have seen a switch.
Yeah.
Definitely, I can see it in the office. I can see it in the
Well,
public.
you hear all this noise about, misinformation about COVID and all this other kind of stuff. It's interesting over the last 4, 5, 6 months, there's less like Dr. Fauci type guidance on the TV. Did you notice that?
Yeah,
So now
absolutely.
it's like a little bit more of a free for all. So people, Fauci, whether you agreed with him or not, at least there was somebody representing saying, "Hey, I am the authority
on the news.
This is
Right.
this is it. Here's your
Guidelines.
central point of contact or information." And it seems like we don't have that anymore.
Yeah,
There's not
yeah.
any consistency in the messaging. And
Fatigue.
well, you get these talking head doctors they put on the morning TV shows, and I was just watching while I was getting ready this morning. I think it was Good Morning America, and they have this Indian Dr. Jha on there, and it's like, okay, he's a college professor, it's like he has no idea.
He's a dermatologist.
Well, he has no idea what they're doing at the federal level and really, Fauci at least, you knew was involved in some of the decision making, so he had a broader thing. And, this doctor's like just broad strokes, like, oh, it's spreading over here and this and Delta variant and all this other kind of stuff. But nobody's saying like, hey, if you're vaccinated, you still can get it, because that's what I've gathered.
Right.
You can still get it,
Yes.
but, it's going to be a lot
Mild.
less severe, right? So, I don't know. It's still kind of interesting how many people are not vaccinated, too.
Yes.
Right, the other side of it. I rushed to get vaccinated just because, I'm around a lot of older people, more vulnerable people, and my grandson. So, I try to do the right thing.
Right. I did too.
But I'm kind of enjoying the microchip.
Exactly. My cell phone reception is much better since I got microchipped. Yeah, those conspirators.
Yeah.
That's your phone tracks you more than anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, let's be realistic.
Exactly.
So, so that is interesting, though. Traveling, you have seen a huge difference. And how about different parts of the country are handling the COVID and the pandemic and reopening differently? Have you seen that also, or is it pretty much everybody's opened it?
Well, a lot of the southern states never really shut down that much. They were also the first states to eliminate the enhanced unemployment, which, they've got to make that a little bit more needs-based, right? Because there's so many people, there's so many jobs available right now. I mean, every place you go, from the laundromat to the restaurants, the Herzogs, whatever it is, it's, everybody's looking for, and there's so many people still getting that extra unemployment check. But some of the other southern states, the federal government is paying half of that enhanced unemployment, and then the state covers the other half. So a lot of the other states were like, well, why are we doing this? If we don't have to, there's you're able. But, same thing with all the COVID relief funds that are being doled out here. All these people just automatically got a check, whether you were still working full time from home, needed it, didn't need it, you just got it. It was like Christmas in July. Right? So, and then same with all the municipalities and the counties. It's mind-boggling that we have to have meetings in the town of Hurley or at the county level to decide how we're going to spend this money, right? Because there's, I think I read that there was no deficit from COVID, because the car sales came back up. That was the concern for a while. And now, we're getting 30, 50 million, and it's like, ooh, let's have meetings and figure out how to spend this money. It's not like, oh my God, we got to plug this hole. It's let's go start.
Yeah. What a problem to have.
Yeah. So it's pork.
Yeah.
So it's there's the definition right there. But I was up in Syracuse. My brother-in-law lives in a small town, and he went to the town meeting because he was so mad. So he was like, okay, take the money, put it in infrastructure, which. Anybody in the city of Kingston listening, that's where the money should be going. Forget that. Sewer, water and sewer. Our water and sewer system in the city is in such bad and shape and disrepair because, not from lack of maintenance. It's 120 years old, right?
Absolutely.
Band-Aids.
And the cost,
right.
The cost to maintain.
And that the Band-Aid on Washington Avenue, they did a block, and it was $15 million, right? So, if the money is available, that's where the money should be going. And, unfortunately, it's going to go to programmatic stuff, which I agree with, but that needs to be throttled a little bit and balanced, right? But, don't know.
Yeah.
I think probably the biggest concern is that the money goes to, how do I put this, one-time cost. You're not creating programs that will have to be maintained after the money has been spent.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing the committees need to look at, is because you don't want to create something that's going to cost us 10 years down the road, that's going to cost our children or grandchildren money to continue. You want to use this money, like you said, for infrastructure, for things that we need now and in the present. So it'll be interesting to see. And it's all across the board. So it's not only the counties looking at it, but the city of Kingston is looking at it. The towns are looking at it. So I hope they all work in conjunction to create some of these things that need to be done and collaborate with one another. So
like the town of Hurley, for example, they collect X amount of taxes in 2018, 19, 20. It's consistent, right? So maybe some people are behind in the taxes, but they get reimbursed by the county if the taxes go to the county, right? So where's the shortfall? Why did the town need the money, right? Masks and some, PPE at town hall.
Yeah, how many
right?
employees? 10 employees in the town of Hurley or something? Or,
Right. So what caused the deficit? What made somebody think that we needed more than the annual budget, to come in a grant?
So in town of Hurley, what is just taxes are probably there's no industry really. It's all residential for the most part. I would think.
So it's interesting. We did back when I was chairman of the Ulster County Development Corporation. Lance Matson was here. He was the executive director. And we did a ratable study, by town, by school district, and then all throughout the county, and saw where the tax dollars come from. And it's pretty interesting. In the town of Hurley, I believe the number is 6% of the parcels are commercial. 6% of the assessment is commercial, and that pays 27% of the taxes.
Really?
Yeah. So, when you get things like that dental office on 375 that was built and was controversial like 10 or 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And there was a choice between 10 houses on that 15-acre lot or one medical building that's only there 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, dentist office, minimal traffic, that pays just about as much taxes as those 6 or 8 houses would have, or 10 houses, but
More
has
than that, yeah.
no impact on the school district. They pay a full school tax bill, don't put any kids in the school, no roads to maintain, nobody going to town hall. You think about that.
So that's pretty much all the commercial property in Hurley is the 28 corridor probably.
Well, what's rated commercial, and we do collect tax on, is reservoir land.
Oh.
Okay, so that is assessed as commercial.
Okay. Which is like
That's interesting.
the mountain, right? Doug Hill.
Yes.
Towards that way, the fly.
Right. So the state land, state park, state land is not taxed, but the reservoir does pay taxes. I mean, obviously they fight their assessment constantly, and that's always a tenuous negotiation. I believe there was like a 10 or 15-year tax cert that was going on with that reservoir property that was settled.
Yeah.
I'm sure we lost. In the long term, you can't fight New York City.
Now that on 28, the expanded the U.S. crane thing they want to put in the quarry. Is that Hurley or no?
No, that's town of Kingston.
Okay.
And again, that's a shame. We've got we have a quarry there that is, it's a quarry, right? There's nothing growing in there, and that's apparently 200 good jobs. Those are welders. That's
Truck
they're
drivers.
80, $90,000 a year jobs, and a couple hundred of them right there. So we've got to find a balance. We actually approached Scenic Hudson a while ago. It's a shame that the county or whoever, somebody could have had some say in the transfer of that property with AVR when they sold it to, that was approved for 3,500 units.
Yeah.
Industrial, there was like a little walkable community, 3,500 residential units. What would that have done, adding that inventory into our housing crisis, right? So now Scenic Hudson fought Tom Perna for 15 years, 18 years it took them to get approval, and it ended up buying it after they spent all the money fighting, right? And they drove the construction costs, everything up, and the project costs up. So now there's industrial property in those quarries that were part of that property there.
Piece of property.
So we approached and said, hey, you can't save everything. Help, throw us a bone, right? Which one do you want to save more? Ontario Lake? Around that property, which, by the way, that quarry elevation-wise, I toured the property. So you've been up to Ontario.
Yeah, I've shot guns there my whole life and everything.
So they're worried about contamination or, contaminating the lake. The quarry, the elevation is 18 feet lower than the lake. So how are things going to flow into the lake?
Yeah.
So it's some of the stuff is counterintuitive.
And that was industrial. God only knows what was done back there in the 40s.
Right.
50s.
So
that was
now the big argument is, construction noise and truck traffic and some blasting. It's like, okay, for 6 or 8 months, suck it up, right?
Yeah.
Have them do it during the winter when people aren't using the trails. You're not going to bother anybody. And then we'll have the best of both worlds, right? So
I have a question. I don't mean to go off topic, but I want to ask this question before we go off the air. The airport. So I read the article, the Kingston Airport, that was purchased by a former CEO of Google, and they're going to do some improvements to it and so forth. Is that for personal? What do you see that being, and why are they purchasing it? And what do you think the?
Well, I have intimate knowledge of that because
yes.
I was involved in the transaction.
Yes.
So I had the whole complex under contract, and along the way, we met Eric Schmidt's family office. Actually, developed a good relationship with them, and he had the heliport there. He actually is a helicopter pilot, flies his own helicopter and flies his own jet. So he flies into Teterboro on his little G5 or whatever, and then he jumps in. You see sometimes there's like there's a jet helicopter there.
I saw it take off the other day.
Yeah, that's his personal thing that he flies. So he lands at the airport and jumps in his Tesla and goes over to Astor Courts, which they're doing a substantial renovation to. Astor Courts, built by a robber baron and now being renovated by a robber baron.
Yeah,
So,
another billionaire, yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. So really nice guy. He likes Ulster County. Trying to get them to look at, doing some stuff here. And
So the airport, that was more for his personal use then? He's
it's
not looking to expand
nothing
it?
is going to change. You cannot expand the airport. Interestingly enough, there was $8 million in FAA grants went into that airport over the last 10 years.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool. But he's stabilizing it, right? There's a lot of deferred maintenance. There's a lot of upkeep there.
You cannot bring a small jet into there, correct?
No, you cannot.
Okay.
You cannot. Interestingly enough, he was the seed investor in Blade, which does the helicopter Uber thing out to the Hamptons and stuff. So maybe they'll start doing that here. Their Blade is also doing small twin-engine planes out to the Hamptons now from Teterboro. So, maybe we'll see some of that traffic.
Yeah.
But it's a great economic linchpin for us, right? So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is.
Just
It
having him vested in the area, and just like Peter Buffett, he just spent how much money was that article?
Millions upon millions.
Well, it's like $100 million he's
Yes.
pumped into the local area.
Yeah, amen.
He's got a lot more to go. So wouldn't it be great if we could get the two of them aligned, right? So we'll see what comes of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jobs and housing.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to network through him to, see if we can get some type of tech presence or some type of traction over at IBM.
Yeah,
Right.
there's a little mini Google office building out
Well,
there.
Google and Facebook combined are in 3.5 million square feet in New York City. They, through COVID, increased by close to 800,000
Which is
square feet
interesting.
in New York City.
That's like a mall.
They pay.
The size of a mall.
It's 4 Hudson Valley malls. So, in New York City, they pay about $150 a square foot net in rent. Here, it's $15, right? So it's like, hey, throw us a bone. You have a little outpost here. More importantly, what we're focusing on is training. There's a trend now in the tech world to get away from college degrees because all these all-star programmer kids and stuff, they're coming right out of high school, that are doing all the AI and all that type of stuff.
Right.
So you don't need a business degree or a whatever degree.
Engineer from MIT.
Well, yeah, they do, but they don't, right? So the people who are doing the psychology part of the AI, that's driving a lot of the, Facebook and Instagram, what you see, sure, you need some training on that, but the actual tech and the programmers, but right now the best jobs are in marketing, right? So, and it totally aligns with our economic vision here with the arts community, right? Because it's all these graphic designers, those are the kids, they're talented, that type of stuff. They need to be trained how to do Facebook and Instagram marketing, right? How do you get the best placement on Facebook, because they're the ones who do the graphics and that type of stuff. And I don't know if you've done any Instagram posting and that type of stuff. It's difficult to navigate. I've got a young lady who does posting and stuff for me, and she knows how to get it up. She posts once in one place, and boom, Facebook
Boost
and
it.
Instagram, and well, and then when to boost, why to boost, how to pick where to boost to. So those are credentialing programs, and that would be really cool. And that's what I'm pushing, trying to get Facebook and Google to take a look at. I actually had another tech company yesterday looking at the West Campus. Smaller scale, nobody's going to take the whole thing, but if we get these
someday,
well, but if we can get these companies,
Facebook started in.
You dip a toe in the water, and even if we could get them to take 50,000 square feet, just the Bank of America building's 400,000 square feet. But 50,000 square feet would support quite a bit of training and have an outpost. And that's what I've been telling the corporate on these is like, take a poll. How many of your employees are quarantining up here, right? Or up in the Hudson Valley now, and you need a little outpost, right? Somewhere they can go and work, and collaborate and, a day or two a week.
Oh, absolutely. We are getting right to the top of the
Holy cow, we are.
Yes.
Man. We got to go. Thank you, Paul, so much. Thank you, listeners.
Thanks for having me.
I won't see you next Tuesday, but Rick will be here covering for me.
Rick will be with me, yes.
And, we'll see you soon.
Oh, you guys go every Tuesday?
Every Tuesday. All right, thanks, Dan. Take it away.
Tuesday.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Paul Hakim, for coming in today. And thank you, Nina Postupack and Cameron Rylance, for bringing us a terrific Tuesday. This last portion of Kingston Community Radio was brought to you by Rondout Savings Bank. Rondout Savings, always working for you in the community with branches in Kingston, West Hurley, and Hyde Park, and also online at rondoutbank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Thank you for sharing the morning with us and being with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920, 92.5 FM, every weekday from 7 to 9 a.m. And join us tomorrow. And we wish you every success in growing and developing Kingston and all our neighboring communities. Until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., we wish you every success. And we now return you to Magic 92.5.
Streaming through our website, WGHQ.FM, and you can listen on your smart speaker when you say play WGHQ. This is Magic 92.5.